Well, hello, Liberty Nation. Welcome into the A Sea of Red Liberty Basketball Postgame Show, where your Liberty Flames knock off the Lipscomb Bison 52-47 in what I would call the most beautiful basketball game ever played. I mean, I don't think there's any debate about it. I'm joined by Will Matthews. Will, have you got a chance to catch your breath yet?
Did Liberty win? Yes, they did. Right there. What a game. What a game.
We'll talk for a second here about how you were feeling midway through the second half there.
Oh, man. Yeah. You're talking like 6, 7, 8 minutes there. I was not feeling too good about it, to be honest. I was trying to keep a positive attitude and try to tweet out some humorous things, but deep down inside, I wanted to crawl up into a fetal position because I thought that might be it.
Yeah, it was definitely not looking good there for a while. We are waiting on some post-game reaction live from Ritchie McKay. The guys at A Sea of Red have got us all set up. So as soon as he goes live, we will we'll bring you that here live for you. But this game today, it was not pretty, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't when you're at this stage of the year. I mean, it is simply right. Survive and advance. And Darius McGee, I mean, Liberty is certainly not at their best. I think we all would agree. They are not at their best when they are when Darius has to shoot a high volume of shots, but he had to tonight. It was one of those nights where no one else could get anything going. And we did get a comment here from LU grad Blake Preston. He was huge down the stretch. I think he only had 4 points, but he really, really had his imprint on this game. Played pretty solid defense on Asajli, had that huge tip out that really felt like a back blow to Lipscomb late in the game. We'll talk for a second about Darius McGee and just, look, he didn't have his best shooting night, but in a game where there wasn't even 100 points total scored, if I'm doing my my Liberty math right, I mean, he scored 26.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like it, does it? I mean, it doesn't feel like he had that many. A lot of shots late in the possession. And at times, again, I'm an untrained basketball fan. It looked like to me early on he was trying to shoot some threes where maybe he was trying to draw contact on those shots instead of getting a good, clean look at it. And I don't know if that was some kind of game plan or maybe I'm just reading into that wrongly. But, yeah, just some incredible drives. He didn't really get a lot of help offensively, and we had kind of talked about how he really needed to get some help, and he didn't really get that. But, yeah, Blake Preston coming up huge. He didn't have to get those – he didn't have to get any buckets at the end there. Like, he just needed to play solid defense because you knew they were going to Asajla. He had to be on him. So, Yeah, good look by Blake tonight. We didn't see any of Micaiah Abi. I don't know if that was just because of the matchup situation or kind of what the deal was there, but I thought at times like Abi is a guy, it seems like he's not afraid to go to the basket, and I thought with Asajala being in foul trouble, I think Abi could have probably helped out there some.
Yeah, that's a great point. Well, honestly, I didn't even notice that Abi didn't get in the game, but yeah, I mean, it must have been a matchup thing. I don't know. We've talked, all season about how Blake could be a real huge contributor in the ASUN tournament. And especially in a slower paced game, which this clearly was a more of a drag out game. I think Ritchie just went with his guys. We got a comment here from Sam, Keegan, and Kyle. Not missing free throws down the stretch was gold. Yeah, I mean, no one had a good shooting night. I mean, Liberty was 6 of 32 from 3. I mean, if you would have told me that Liberty went 6 of 32 from 3, I would have been like on the floor crying, thinking we probably lost by double digits,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I mean, those guys made huge shots down the stretch. Maybe some debate. I know my guy Ryan Kimbright doesn't agree with me, but I didn't see the final numbers, but late in the game, that was the least amount of points per possession that Lipscomb had in a game all season. So I don't know. Maybe Liberty got crazy lucky tonight. I'm definitely not smart enough to dissect what's good defense and what's bad defense. I just can look at the numbers and say, hey, that was their worst performance, points per possession all season. And another comment here from Bailey. Love these comments. If you're watching on Twitter, if you do hop onto the YouTube link that I tweeted out, you can comment and interact with us as we're waiting here for Coach McKay. But great comment from Bailey. Really strong effort from Warfield and Vinzant. Yeah, they were really good on the defensive end. And Warfield, I felt like he got a couple times he got blown by KJ Johnson in the first half, but he didn't allow that to really throw him off. He plays really good defense and had some huge rebounds. Looks like Lenny Akoff is going to give some post-game reaction. Why don't we go ahead and listen into him at least for a little bit and hear what he had to say about today's game.
All right. Floor is open. Coach, opening statement, and then we'll start with questions.
Yeah. What a hard-fought basketball game. It probably wasn't the prettiest thing to watch on either end. But congratulations to Liberty. I have a ton of respect for Coach McKay, their whole staff, their whole program, the way they do things. They got a great shot to win it. But with that being said, I was unbelievably proud of our team tonight. I thought we fought. I thought we had a good plan. I'm not 100% sure, but I think we had the lead at the last media. I think we're up 1 at the last media. And we talked about trying to get game pressure on. We wanted to try to get the game inside the last 5 minutes. At the end of the day, they've got Darius McGee. And he's an awfully good player. But I thought we did a good job on him. When you play a guy like that, you want to make sure you try to keep him to a number of points, a number of shots. He took 26 shots to get 25 points, and that's what your goal is. But I thought our effort was fantastic. We came up here a month ago, and they just blitzed us from 3. They made 17 threes tonight. They went 6 for 32, but we reciprocated by going 3 for 20. And I thought we had a lot of good looks. We got a great look there at the end. It would have tied it with a minute to go. And, but it's 32 years for me, and I can promise you ain't nobody trying to miss them. It's just the way it is. And they're trying to make them. And we just didn't get to go in tonight. Neither team shot it well, but just again, congratulations to them. And they're an awfully good basketball team, and they'll be a tough out going forward for sure.
Sajala had to work for his points. And Preston coming off the bench, how much of a factor was he in, being able to force Sajala?
Yeah, that's a great question. He did a really good job. They play him a lot more against us than they do most other people. And Blake Preston's a good player. I mean, he started for him last year. They got to the NCAA tournament, and he's won a lot of basketball games here. So it's nice to have a guy like that off the bench. But he does match his size. And Son didn't have his best night, but late in the game we went to him. He went and scored it for us a couple of times big. But I'm riding or dying with him. I mean, he's coming back next year for his 5th year, and we'll keep throwing it to him again next year, I promise you. But Blake did a nice job.
Coach, the play of Trey Benham for you guys tonight, a young guy to come in here and do that in a tough environment, in a win or go home game. How much does that speak to him?
He's really got a chance to be a good player. You know, the biggest thing about Trey is in our society today, when kids don't get what they want, they usually run for the hills. You know, they'll try to blame somebody else. And he was not playing at all when the conference started. He was not playing. But he kept coming to practice every day, and every day he's playing well, and he's getting there early and leaving late. And he's really moved the needle for us the last month. I mean, he was in high school last year. You know, his dad went to school here, played baseball here. Will Pruitt's a freshman, number 2 for us. So we had 2 freshmen out there an awful lot. And this is not going to do anything but help us going forward. But Trey, really, I'm real happy for him. When we came up here a month ago, he tried too hard. He had a lot of people here, and he just kind of got outside his lane a little bit. But he was really, really good tonight. And honestly, I don't know if he took a bad 3. I thought all those were going in. He's been really shooting it good.
We talk about the 3-point line. Kind of found a way to score getting inside. Trey drove a lot. Didn't see that a whole lot up until this year. And obviously, KJ had a good night getting inside too.
Yep.
What was that adjustment made, or was that kind of an expectation from the start?
Well, you have to be careful. You play around their defense a lot. They're really good defensive, but we scored 32 paint points, and that 32 to 16 in the paint. And there is no telling how many we missed right at the rim. And that'll haunt us. There's no doubt. But I don't know how many people really gave us a chance coming into the night. We thought we had a chance. We've been really, really close. We're so much better than our record. We've had the lead, as you know, many, many times late in the second half, and had to be able to get to the finish line. And, you know, we just need to jump up and make a shot tonight. We couldn't do it, but to their credit, they made plays. And I guess it was McGee that hit the 3, I guess, to put them up or whatever it was. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad he's gone. I can tell you that right now. So I hope he's gone anyhow. He's really good.
Coach, if you would have known before the game that you would have held Liberty to under 30% shooting and 6 of 32 from 3, would you have taken that?
I really liked our chances. You know, I don't remember if we're down 1 or up 1 at the last meeting, but I told our guys, and honestly, we probably should have been up a little bit more. We had chances to go up 4 or 5 several times. And but I said, you know, when we got on that plane yesterday, if you told me it's going to be a 1-point game 4 minutes ago at Liberty, I mean, they're obviously really good in here. I guess like 50 out of 52 in here or something. We'd have took it, and but they made some plays and we didn't. But you know, there's times you're disappointed in your team. I'm just disappointed for them. I'm not disappointed in them at all. I'm just disappointed for them tonight.
You said on Tuesday you play loose, and that was the plan. Do you think you accomplished that today?
Yeah, you know, I thought we did. I thought we were a little tentative to start the game offensively, but their defense had a lot to do with that. I mean, they missed a lot of shots that they normally make, and there's no doubt about that. But I thought our defense was really good. I thought we had a good plan, and I thought we had a lot to do with that.
All good? All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Coach.
Coach. Appreciate it, Coach.
All right, that was Lipscomb head coach Lenny Akoff. as you see, Chad joined in, and looks like we're jumping right back in to Liberty. Here's Ritchie McKay with Darius McGee and Blake Preston.
Comments and then get to some questions from the media.
You tell me, JC.
Good. Y'all ready?
It is sermon time. That was really hard fought. I have a lot of respect for Coach Acuff and their program. They do it the right way. They had a great scheme and game plan, and I don't care how old you are, how many games you've been in tournament play. The first one is always really hard because you realize the significance of it. So I was proud of our group that we didn't play as efficiently as we had been on the offensive end, but we found a way to pull one out.
Questions?
Richie, from a defensive perspective, I mean, contested really well, especially in the post with Blake on Asajala. Was this the type of defensive effort you'd like to see out of this group of really contested and making it difficult for them?
Yeah, you wouldn't know by Blake's numbers how effective he was in terms of the outcome that we desired, but Blake is really physically and mentally tough, and I thought his individual performance on the sound was terrific. So, but we also, the guys around them are capable, as you saw tonight, and I felt like we had the right discipline that was needed in order to make it hard for them.
Going into the locker room down one, what was your message to the team?
I just felt like we had a bunch of interference going. I felt like we were a little down because we weren't as efficient offensively. And then, I mean, they had 6 layups on straight line drive. You know, we're better than that. And I thought in the second half we were much more attentive to detail.
Richie, you said all year, you wanted the challenge. You wanted to go through the ups and downs and the adversity to get better. Do you feel like some of those valleys along the way maybe helped you pull it out tonight?
Yeah, I said it, but I didn't mean it. No. Yeah, I think anytime you go through a struggle, and for those of you who weren't here, we had 2 overtime games at home before this one. So our guys had been in some hard-fought battles. And for as many games as we played in February or the end of January to February, with as little practice as we had, I felt like our defense kind of got back to who we are. And look, I got a lot of belief in this group, and offensively, credit Lipscomb, but I think we're better offensively than we should.
I have no question.
Blake, that interior defense, you've played Sergeant tough earlier this year here, and how key was that down the stretch to be able to contest on some of those shots and limit them to one shot on those possessions?
I mean, yeah, Coach said it. The guys around me did a great job of also affecting whether it was just staying right in his pocket, ready to pick the ball, or whatever else it was. Made him second guess it, and I was picking Miles' brain as well. He had some previous success against him in the ASUN tournament the first time we played him here. So that was something that was beneficial. But I think that Kyle did a great job on him as well, and we forced some pivotal turnovers. Darius had a choke out, so I think it was a great job as a team, just being able to know what they were going to do and be able to impact that.
And Darius, I want to piggyback off that. You hit that pull-up jumper to put you ahead, and then you had that heady defensive play to come in and try to steal it from a sideline. He throws it away, and you go into the immediate timeout with momentum. How big of a swing was that to, one, take the lead, and then play heads up defense to really get the crowd fired up?
Well, I think it was huge because down the stretch we were always talking about we really needed to stop. So for Blake to play him as tough as he did the possessions before, so kind of took his eyes off of where the help defense was coming. So all of us are just looking to make a play. And unfortunately, I was in a position to get my hand on the ball or just make him second guess, and we forced a turnover. And then after that, it was just a matter of getting stops and getting great shots. We knew we had at that point in the game we could turn it on.
Coach, after 2 overtime games back to back like that, when the shots don't start falling in the first half, is there any fear of maybe that emotional letdown where your guys aren't necessarily ready yet? Emotionally ready yet?
No, this group is always emotionally ready. They really have the right lens that they look from, and they know their identity. Look, it's college basketball, and sometimes shots don't fall. But I think we have the maturity to rely on the other end of the floor when things aren't going well, and when we're clicking on both ends, we're tough out. But hey, shout out to our crowd. I thought the arena has been tremendous the last 3 home games, and we'll need that against a really good Bellarmine team on Saturday.
Kind of going off of that big between Darius and Blake, do you feel like that got the crowd back into the game and turned it around?
The alley-oop you're referring to? Yeah, definitely. It got us going in the right direction. I was just a little worried that Blake was going to hang on the rim and get a technical because I've seen him do that before. But no, that was a big play. And again, anytime you can lift your crowd onto their feet, that helps the cause.
John, Darius, you, Blake, some of the other guys, Kyle and others, have played in a lot of tournament games in March. That have been tight coming down the stretch. How much does that previous experience help as you guys were coming down the stretch here tonight?
The small things, the little details get magnified. Those are the things that you play closest attention to, and you try to trickle that down to everyone who maybe hasn't been in this situation before, like the freshmen. Just try to help that transition because we need everybody, especially postseason. Like, conference games are already hard enough, but in the postseason, everything tightens up and everything is that much harder. So it's just a matter of paying attention to the smaller details.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, on behalf of our organization, EM Sports, we want to present you the Player of the Year in Central Virginia.
I'll take some cash, 40 minutes. 40 minutes tonight.
Yeah, Phil, any questions?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, you've never played the Knights here in Lynchburg. It's going to be nice to have them on the home court, knowing how sound they are on the offensive end.
I'd rather play anyone at home than on the road, but the Seeds held true. It's been a tremendous ASUN conference regular season, and again, this is what you prepare for. So we know how good they are. Scott Davenport, people thought that Bellarmine wouldn't be a factor. They just didn't pay attention. They went to 12 straight Division II tournaments, 12 straight. And then they played in the postseason last year. So we're very aware and very respectful of what they do. And again, we're going to need everybody to recover quickly and have a quick turn. They're hard to guard, and they're really hard-nosed defensively.
That's good.
I think so.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that was head coach Ritchie McKay with Darius McGee and Blake Preston giving the post-game comments. I believe Darius was presented. I thought I heard the Virginia Player of the Year. I think that was the award that he was given. I'm not 100% sure. I was trying to tune in. We are hoping to get some reaction here in a minute from Chad live at the arena. Not sure if he's able to or not. I know they sometimes have some troubles with Wi-Fi. I think Zach heard Central Virginia. So thanks, Zach. Better hearing than than myself. Will, do you have any thoughts on the post-game comments?
I think it was Zach Green who commented, did Acuff just say Asajala is coming back next year? At about the exact same time I texted you that. if that guy feels like he's been in the ASUN for 10 years. I guess it's just 5 years. I mean, maybe it's because he looks like he's 37 and we played him, as a freshman.
Yeah, KenPom actually has him listed as a junior. I had to take a double take. So I think they had already, I guess, confirmed and they reclassified him as a junior because of the whole COVID year or whatnot. So, yeah, he's going to be back. I don't know. They weren't that great with him this year. So, I honestly, there was some times on the floor tonight where it almost felt like, the ball didn't move as well with him, which is weird because he's such like a high assist rate. But you saw how good Benham can be, and it might be hopefully he kind of stops his development here as we get through. If you're watching, you see at the bottom the ASUN final scores. Let's take a quick look here at the updated bracket. So Bellarmine knocked off Florida Gulf Coast by 13 points tonight. Did not see that one coming. Thought for sure Florida Gulf Coast, and as we said, they trapped us. I said this on Sunday night. I said I feel like they're trapping me, but I'm gonna pick them anyways. Momentum just, it doesn't mean all that much coming into these tournaments. It's their one game, and so congrats to Bellarmine. They will be Liberty's next opponent. We believe the game is going to be at 6 o'clock. I don't know if I've seen anything official. I've been trying to monitor all of the channels out there. So if anyone does know if it's official, please comment and let me know. But Will, quick thoughts on Liberty Bellarmine on Saturday.
Woo. Well, yeah. Like you were saying, we thought with momentum being behind Florida Gulf Coast coming in hot, but evidently it did not matter against Bellarmine. Just looking at the box score, Bellarmine had all 5 of their starters score in double figures. That's pretty incredible. Dylan Penn had 17 and CJ Fleming had 19. And it looks like they hit a bunch of threes tonight. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? Like Lipscomb did not hit a bunch of threes. And if they would have had just a few more go in, it could have been a different ball game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Asaja was only 5 for 14, and none of those were 3-point attempts. So, that's not very efficient. So that's kind of what I'm saying about. Well, okay, he feels like a problem, but I don't know if he really is that big of a problem. We're hoping to get Chad on here in just a second, but let's talk real quick about the other matchup. Jacksonville State was struggling with Kennesaw for a while, but they pulled away at the end. Jacksonville pretty well. I was watching a little bit of that. I think they controlled Central Arkansas pretty well throughout. Central Arkansas made it a little closer at the end, but all chalk. Jacksonville State, Jacksonville. Jacksonville. They're numbers wise, they're the third best team in the conference. So, Jacksonville State's certainly not getting an easy matchup. I definitely feel like Bellarmine's a much, much better matchup for Liberty, just because of, Liberty's ability to, score against them. They don't really have a ton of size, and Liberty, the 2 times they've played them have had no issue scoring. So hopefully they could turn the page quickly on tonight. But I don't know. What's your thoughts on Jacksonville State, Jacksonville?
Yeah, Jacksonville is sticky, man. They they would not go away during the regular season standings, and pretty impressive game against Central Arkansas. Kind of kept control of that one. So I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be a close one. I don't think that necessarily Jacksonville State's going to run away with it.
Yeah. I think it'll be a tight, tough ball game. Jacksonville's certainly not a comfortable team to be playing win. So yeah.
Who would you rather play in the championship game, Jacksonville or Jacksonville State?
Well, definitely Jacksonville, but that would be a home game, so that's huge.
Yep.
Yeah. So it looks like we're just about set to get Chad. He's looks like he's just about ready. It's set up here. Did want to tell you real quick about Saturday. So I'm assuming Liberty had posted before that the game will be at 6. So we'll do a pregame show Saturday 5:30 for Liberty or Liberty versus Bellarmine. Get you guys all set for that. And really looking forward to that. And thanks everyone, for chiming in and chatting with us tonight. Another point on tonight's win. Liberty is now 10-0 all time in the ASUN tournament. I mean, let's talk for a second while we're waiting for Chad to hop on here. All
right, guys. Sorry, we can't.
Can you hear us?
Give us a thumbs up.
We can hear you.
But
we can hear you.
We are live in the arena after the game. It was definitely the loudest I've ever heard it. I know I said that last time. Check out the Zamboni cleaning the floor post game. Pretty sweet. But John and I are sitting courtside here. John, was that the loudest you've ever heard it?
I don't know. I mean, it was loud. The crowd definitely helped the team. The team fed off of it there in the closing minutes. But, yeah, I mean, it was loud. I was real excited at how loud it was from the jump. I mean, in the pregame warm-ups, I tweeted something out about this, that it was loud, and you could tell the crowd was energized and engaged from the beginning. So that definitely helped them down the stretch. But I really think that, Blake Preston's minutes down the stretch against Asajala were huge. He was able to come up with that huge steal in the closing minutes and got a huge second, offensive rebound. allowed for us to get a second chance. We didn't score that time, but it allowed us to take another 20 seconds off the clock. So his play was huge. He's been up and down a lot this season, but he played well. And also Isaiah Warfield with a huge defensive stop down here on their last possession when they got a good shot. So all in all, a lot of team contributions, player contributions, and obviously it was Darius McGee that got it all done.
Yeah. One of the things that I noticed was basically one of the things I noticed tonight was the leadership of the seniors. So they would have a timeout or they would have a little huddle with their team, and then they would go into then they would come out onto the floor and have their own little huddle, and you could really see the senior leadership. I saw Keegan doing that. I saw Kyle doing that. He has 2 more years, I think. We heard tonight that ASUN is coming back another year, which is crazy. But yeah, we basically what I'm trying to say is the senior leadership tonight. And Acuff alluded to it in his thing. He said basically we want to get them in a game situation with 5 minutes left and let them feel that game pressure is what he said. And I thought that there was a lot of game pressure. I was nervous wreck because we're down and we're in the ASUN tournament first round quarterfinals against Lipscomb, and we can't make a shot. I'm feeling crazy. But you look out there, and Keegan, Darius, and Kyle in particular just had this calm about them, kept bringing the team together, and kind of brought everybody together. So that's kind of it. John, any other final statements here?
Yeah, a couple of thoughts. I mean, it's crazy. Liberty didn't play their best game, but they shot 29.8% from the field for the game. They were 6 of 35 from 3 and still come out of here with a win. 52-47. This is not how the team's been winning lately. They've been doing it with offense. So, it's great to see the team be able to win on, in different ways. Also, how about Trey Benham? I know we don't like to, prop up the other team players that much, but man, this is a kid who his dad played here at Liberty in baseball, and he wanted to play at Liberty. Coach Acuff even alluded to it there in his post-game press conference about how it was personal for him, last game here. And man, that dude balled. True freshman out here, scored 22 points, I think it was. Really, ballsy play from that guy.
Yeah. So all in all, fun night. It was just me and the wife here tonight. Didn't bring the kids, so it was a really fun night to cheer on the Flames. That's the loudest I've been. So even if the arena wasn't loud, that's the loudest I've been in a Liberty game since I was a student. So that was a lot of fun. I look forward to doing it again Saturday night. The thing I'm taking away from all of this is the Flames can win any flavor. You want to go into a 90s game, you want to play to a game where the other team only scores 47, and you bring in Blake Preston, and he has more minutes and contributes more than he has pretty much all season. We can win any flavor, and I love that. We're not one-dimensional like we used to be. We can kind of hang with anybody. So that's it from the arena. Nick, Will, I'm sure you guys are killing it. Can't wait to go back and rewatch the show. Sorry, we're buffering a little bit tonight. The Wi-Fi is not great, and we're doing this on an iPhone on a tripod. But it's been a lot of fun. Hope you guys have had fun on the post-game show. Can't wait to watch it tonight when I get home. You guys have a good night.
All right, awesome. Mic drop from our boys. So I was getting some comments in the chat on YouTube. I just checked. Jacksonville State says that they are playing at 6 o'clock on Saturday, but they are Central Time Zone, so I believe 6 o'clock will be 7 o'clock for us. Liberty, they had posted something earlier in the week that said the game would be at 6 p.m. They were doing like a rundown of the whole week, and they said basketball 6 p.m. So I don't know. I'll wait and see on that. Just obviously check Liberty social, but I believe Jacksonville State is going to be at 7. So be interesting to see if these games are at the same time like they've been doing, or if they're going to stagger them. I hope they staggered them. It makes no sense to have 2 semifinal games in 2 different gyms at the same time. But yeah, we'll see. Will, any final thoughts before we wrap this one up tonight?
Yeah, I mean, well, the ASUN does a little bit of fishy things with their tournament and how they handle things. So who knows? Yeah, so just that was a good point by John. We haven't seen a low-scoring game in quite a while. I think the least amount of points scored against us this year was 36 by Carver, but that doesn't count. So I think Missouri actually scored less than Lipscomb tonight. So it's just been a while since we've seen a low scoring game like that. I thought it was interesting. One thing I wrote down and I forgot to mention that during the press conference, Blake mentioned how he kind of picked Mayo's brain about how to play a Sajula, and brilliant move by Blake because Mayo did a great job against the Sajula in their battles throughout the year. So exciting and looking forward to what we got going on Saturday.
Yeah, and just to, I guess, give you some numbers behind that. So Liberty, it was their worst offensive efficiency game since Stephen F. Austin. So worst worst conference game of the year scoring wise, but it was their best defensive efficiency game in a long time since Carver. Missouri was actually the only other D1 game that was better defensive efficiency wise all year.
Yeah, I think our defensive efficiency is a lot of luck. Now, not to say that they weren't giving them tough looks around the rim, because they were stepping in front of lanes and they were really defending them going to the basket. But Acuff mentioned it in the press. They missed a ton of shots around the basket. So I think it's just a mix of good defense and a lot of good luck.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I agree. I think they definitely were fortunate around the rim, but Lipscomb was 3 of 20 from 3. And I did feel like Liberty did a much better job than we've seen in a while defending the 3 ball. I don't know. I never played anywhere close to Division I basketball, but it felt like Liberty was much more concentrated on this game on controlling the 3-point line than I've seen in a long time, like maybe ever. It felt earlier they were playing much farther out, which maybe gave them some of those shots around the rim. And they were like, hey, Lipscomb beat us around the rim. And, they didn't. So I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like Lipscomb got a ton of great looks from 3. Did you?
No. I mean, Benham was the only guy that was getting some pretty decent looks. And it was almost like Liberty was saying, hey, if you guys are going to beat us, Asajala is going to be the guy to do it.
Yeah, Benham was only 3 for 10. I mean, it's like the Dunn Martin when he went 5 for 15, and you're like, oh my gosh, he hit everything. And it's like, no, he actually only hit 1 out of every 3 shots. It's crazy how it can feel different, in the moment than it was.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, baby, survive and advance this time of year. Liberty did it. We're back on Saturday, and I love the Bellarmine matchup. Bellarmine, they played a great game tonight, but Bellarmine is 319th in the country in defensive efficiency. So they are not a good defensive team, and Liberty has, chopped them up. So hopefully get this game behind us. Hey, you won, you survived, and get that offense flowing on Saturday.
Hey, making a big prediction. I think we're going to get a big win against Bellarmine. They've never played in Lynchburg. I think the crowd's going to be rocking after momentum of this game. I think we're in for a big win from Liberty. Blowout.
I like it. I love it. Yeah, great point that they've never come to Lynchburg. So yeah, let's give them Liberty fans in Lynchburg. Give them heck on Saturday.
Our boy Jeremiah Flincham on TV giving the referees the business tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely. Make Bellarmine feel it. Unless Jacksonville wins, it's the last home game of the year. So let's make it count. Well, for John, for Chad, for Ritchie McKay, for Lenny Acuff, for Will Matthews, I'm Nick Kirby. Thanks so much for joining us for the ASIA Red Liberty Basketball Postgame Show presented by Jason Porter Real Estate, covering all of your residential and commercial needs in the Lynchburg area. We'll see you on Saturday.